2019 has come to an end, the end of a decade. How crazy. But I'm back on this hill in my hometown to go through 3 crucial things that I've taken away from this year. These are 3 life lessons, things that I came to realize about myself that I need to work on and improve, or faults that I have in myself. So maybe from this video, it'll help you have a few more insights in terms of what you might want to focus on, or start to get you thinking about the things that you took away from this year that you can apply into the new decade. So let's continue my ascent. This year has been interesting, let's say that. I spent a lot of time over in Budapest with a real focus to hone in on skills that I have a lot of energy towards wanting to get better at. So different areas of filmmaking, whether that be getting better at VFX or getting better as an editor in general. Like, how do you tell a story better in different ways? You can engage an audience. And I also shot another music video, which was a fun experience. It was the music video that made me realize one thing, which is how much I love music videos. And also my next pursuit is to really double down on music videos, because they're so much fun and they really like flex the creative muscle that I have in my brain. I can't think of better. I don't believe I've experienced anything better in terms of making a really cool music video. Short films are cool, but music videos are also cool. Maybe cooler. So I'm gonna kick straight into these 3 things that are kind of key elements that I have encountered throughout the year that I've been working on. So the first one is my fitness. I used to go to the gym quite a lot a few years ago, pretty consistently. And then I dropped off for the last 3 years and vaguely went to yoga a few times and ran quite a lot. I ran a half marathon in 2018. So my fitness has been better than the normal person, average person, but it's been pretty poor. And I started to notice this when I was filming something, and just my overall energy level and physicality just sucked. So I made a promise to myself, okay, 2019, I need to get better at fitness. So I hired a personal trainer the first time ever, and he kicked my ass completely. And I've been going to the gym pretty much 2 or 3 times a week consistently, which is amazing for me. And I noticed a massive difference in my body, my health, my overall just physicality. And it extends so deeply to other areas of my life. Because the problem is, if you're sat on a computer editing all the time, your legs are stiff as hell, and they're not designed to be sat on a chair like this. And when my trainer tried to get me to do squats for the first time, I couldn't, because my hamstrings were and my calves were just too tight. I could not squat without extreme pain here. And if you wake up in the morning and you drag yourself out of bed, you manage to make your way to the gym or to wherever you want to exercise, regardless of how crap you do there, whether you don't better any of the previous days of your weight training, the great thing about it is you've won the day. And I like this term, that you've won the day. I can't remember who I heard it from, but like, regardless of what you do throughout that whole day, the fact that you got your ass out of bed, which is so difficult, and pulled yourself to exercise and work on your body and build that habit, you've won. Like, you can screw up for the rest of the day a little bit, but the fact that you can always think, I went to the gym this morning, I really went through that flinch of not wanting to do something, and I did it. And that is such a satisfying feeling. And building that muscle, it's very quick for something that is an idea in your head to actually become a habit, and that you start to feel weird when you don't do it. It's like brushing your teeth, right? The day that maybe you don't brush your teeth, or you can't brush your teeth for whatever reason, your mouth feels a bit icky before you go to sleep, because it's habitual. And the gym and exercise and a habit or a skill can become that, where you realize you haven't done it for a while and you feel a bit like, I don't know, I feel a bit weird that I haven't done this habit. So what I started to realize is, I read a really amazing book this year called Atomic Habits. One of the main points I took away from that is, if you want to build a habit, focus on the frequency of when you begin the habit versus the amount of time you put into the habit. He told a story about one of his clients who was starting to try and get to the gym, and he recommended to him, hey, like, if it's intimidating for you, just go through the process of putting on your clothes in the morning, putting on your gym shorts, getting your gym bag, going to the gym and going there for 10 minutes. And then leaving, which is hilarious. I find that you can just go to the gym for 10 minutes, have a workout. You probably didn't even work out, and then go. And I think it's that I've come to realize is true. If you do that enough times and slowly build up the 10 minutes to 20 minutes to half an hour, you'll eventually make that habit habitual enough that you don't have to go through as many barriers to initially start going to the gym. So yeah, that's the number one thing that I've been working on this year is health and fitness. So the second thing is working on my friendships and having a better social circle. When I was a lot younger in high school, I didn't really have a big social circle. I had a few friends here and there, and even only up until a few years ago, I had one main best friend who lives in my hometown here. And a lot of the times I didn't realize the benefit of spending time just trying to build a social circle or investing in the time that you spend with friends. Because I think if you're a very ambitious person like me, maybe you can resonate with the idea that you want to just spend all your time hustling and working on your craft and getting better at a skill that you want, because you know what kind of rewards lie at the end of it, or you think you know. But I've come to realize that so many enjoyable moments in life come from when you're just hanging out with your buddies and just chilling and playing video games or playing a funny board game. Get Spyfall, it's a great board game. You'll thank me for the purchase. You get it for a late Christmas present. It's funny because I listened to a podcast that Dan Bilzerian did, and he admitted, with all the booty girls and all the drugs and all the crazy Ferraris that he has, he said, you know what, the best times that I've had in my life that really spring to mind is when I was just chilling with my boys on the beach or just hanging around having a beer with them. And I think that is really true. There is something to just having that downtime to hang with friends and just build those connections, because those social connections are so important. And if you have a crew around you, especially if that crew is also a crew that collaborates with you, man, that's like the ultimate thing. If you can find, because it's hard to find friends, right? Like, it's easy in school and it's easy in college and university. People are just there. When you're an adult in the adult world, you're only surrounded by people in your workplace, and maybe you go to a yoga class and vaguely are friends with a few people there, but they're not like friends. And I found that the best way that I found friend was trying to find collaborators. So connecting with other filmmakers and actively saying, hey, let's work on a project together, because that time that you spend building a project and seeing it through builds such a deep bond. It's like one of the deepest bonds you can build, where you can look back and say, oh, remember when we made that film? I actually met two of my good friends yesterday, two filmmakers that I've made films with previously. And yeah, you just hang out with them and they're amazing. They're awesome people, and you still have that connection, and it's almost like a year didn't pass until you saw each other. And that's the kind of connections that I like to build. So find collaborators in whatever field that you're in, and try and build something together, do something together, a project. But you can't just be good at a particular skill and expect that to kind of build you social relationships just because you're good at something. You have to have good energy and work on yourself as a person to just be a cool guy to hang around with before your skills or what you do comes up, because then you can leverage so much of the things that you're good at by the fact that you're just a normal, cool person. You make people feel good, and that currency and that skill goes so higher to help you meet new people and connect with other individuals to actually make more stuff and find more opportunities in life. So yeah, that was a big revelation for me, is working on me just being Adam before any of my skills or before what I'm good at or before why people hire me, and be the guy that you want to who you want to be around you, like who you want to invite to a cool party, or you want to just be around because you know the kind of energy that you get from me is honesty, and I make you laugh, and many other things that I am, and just being me, not being fake or pretending to be who I am, or pretending to be who I want to be. I think initially a lot of people spend time figuring out the archetype they want to be. Who do they want to be? Do they want to be the funny guy? Do they want to be the guy who is seen as the shy guy but is very artistic? And I spent a lot of time thinking about what kind of archetype and presentation I want to give across to people. But it's not a fake thing. It's not like I'm trying to be someone. It's I kind of know more about myself and know who I am, so I can therefore convey it properly to people. and then they're like, okay, here's Adam, and if they don't like me, cool, that's fine, and if they like me, cool, let's collaborate on something and hang out and maybe have a beer and play Spyfall. Buy Spyfall, it's great. So the final thing that I've taken away from this year is the idea of committing to things and really going full on with trying to get good at them. I've had a lot of skills in the past, for instance, music. I started learning music, getting into electronic music producing, but now I haven't even practiced for the last maybe 4 or 5 months is the last time I tried to make a track again on Ableton. And it was also because I was trying to work on other skills at the same time and work on different areas of my life. But I started to realize that really committing to a skill and spending a little bit of time, whether that be a few months, to focus on it heavily and then take a step back and think, how much time did I actually put towards that skill, and what did doing that skill do for my life? Was it a benefit to spend time doing it, or should I drop it off because it's actually making me not as happy and it's not really leading anywhere? So you've got to think with your skills, is this benefiting me? Are the benefits of keeping this skill up and getting past the more uncomfortable phases of it going to benefit me higher than just dropping off the skill completely? Because initially when you start a new skill, you're really excited. The initial rush of learning all these new things is so high that that can carry you through the first few weeks. But then after a while, you start to realize you're a complete beginner and you've got so much to learn, and you are like, this is going to take me years to get good at, to actually get good at, to the level of the musicians I look up to, or to the martial artists that I've seen on YouTube when I first got inspired to do jiu-jitsu, let's say. So what I've started to do is choose a few skills to commit to for a period of time, whether that be a few months, or maybe you even want to just go for a whole year. I'm going to just focus on exercise, and if I hate it by the end of the year, then I'll quit it completely, or I'll cut down massively on how much I'm doing. And I found that doing that gives you a much more realistic perspective of what that skill is doing for you and how it's benefiting your life. Because unfortunately, you have to go through a certain level of commitment and investment into something to actually really see the benefits of it, to really see whether it works for you and whether you should keep doing it, which initially sounds a bit like, oh, I want to know very quickly if something works for me or not, because I get the feeling it does. And that feeling of being inspired to start something is a good thing to follow on, but that is not going to last forever. And you need to find something else, a deeper level of commitment to say, I'm going to stick this out for a few months, and then I'm going to check back on this month and say, okay, what I'm actually really enjoying that skill, and is it good for me? And maybe if I'm not enjoying it completely, like, is it at least going to benefit my life in the long run, and I'm going to be able to take things from that skill into my life in the future? And if the answer is yes, then keep doing it. And maybe you only commit to something for a little bit of time, and then you can pick it up later. Like, you have time unless you're 90, but even then you've got time. Be an EDM producer when you're 90. I'd go and see you at Coachella. So yeah, 2020, think about some skills that you maybe have dabbled in but not really fully committed to for a period of time. Take one up and just do it for a month or two, and then look back and see whether it's benefiting your life or not, and decide whether to make it stick or not. And in a year's time, you'll realize that you've been avoiding a lot of uncomfort that came with sticking with a skill, and you'll be progressing in many ways that you couldn't even imagine just by saying, okay, I'm going to do this for a month and let's see what happens. I'm going to leave it there for this video. It's great, right? I think I'm getting a lot shorter at doing these videos. If you see by my last videos, which I'll cut to now, you can see Adam there is blabbering on for 20 minutes. Have an amazing New Year's Eve. I'm going to go to London this year. New Year's Eve, I normally am very boring and just stay inside and watch whatever's on TV. But this year I'm like, yeah, let's hang out with the girlfriend in London. That sounds like a great evening of fireworks and food and partying. So I shall see you guys in 2020. I say this every year. Last year I was like, I'm gonna make more videos on YouTube, and I put out like one, which is very funny. Link in the description if you want to see me taking pictures of people pretending to be a paparazzi in Budapest. But yeah, I think I want to take YouTube a bit more seriously this time. I like having this reflective chat to myself, and hopefully a few of you. And I have a lot of video ideas as well that I want to put on here, and a lot of other projects that I should be sharing behind the scenes of, so stay tuned for that. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button. As an early YouTuber, new YouTuber, that helps me out a lot. Also, it helps with the algorithm, because do you really want to be seeing videos of cats all the time? I mean, I do, but let the YouTube algorithm help you see things that are hopefully inspiring and a nice view. This is nice, isn't it? So I'm gonna walk down the hill ceremoniously, as I do every year, and have a lovely new year and a prosperous 2020 and decade. Yeah, oh my God, in a decade I'm gonna be 37. That'll be a funny video. Hopefully I'll have a big beard. Bye.